No. What about his viral?
Oh,
It's not very exciting.
Just.
That's on the,
Alright, so what do you got? Huh? Both of you?
It's not like halfway through this one. There's no crap.
before I don't have COVID.
Yeah, I see. I understand.
Did he get vaccinated
Yeah.
Oh,
Probably be
God.
better than him.
I'm not trying to get something die from the vaccine.
The vaccine.
Jack and
I'm alright. Alright.
It's kind of good. You said I got that.
He's with it.
Gus throws like
I throw 35.
maybe
On a good day.
On a good day, 40.
Let's see here. Hold on, how about the first one? What'd you get?
Just kidding.
Okay, now remember, 6 times -5, -30, that's correct. They add up to +1. Watch your signs on there. London, second one, did you get it?
Yeah, I got x plus 4 and 2x minus 5.
X plus 4 times 2x minus 5, because that's -5, that's +8. That definitely adds up to +3 in the middle, so correct. Now, this last one, I think it was a little bit trickier. You got to take 6 times 10 to equal 60. What are two numbers that multiply to equal 60 and at the same time add to -19? Okay, Jordan.
-4 and -15.
-4, -4, and -15. So I got 6x squared minus 4x minus 15x plus 10. And now GCF here is 2x. All right, just watch when you're dividing, what does that give me? That gives me 3x minus 2. Make this GCF a -5. So it's -5, 3x minus 2, and then I get 3x minus 2 times 2x minus 5. Okay, they both need to be negative. So just watch this. All right, if you're doing these, I mean, for the most part, just seeing some minor mistakes, but that's important kind of as we move forward. You can't forget how to do these. Homework-wise, all right. Answers. Now, I wanted you to put the zeros in ordered paired form. Some of you got to watch and read the directions because I know some things look similar, but what they're asking for is different. So for number 3, they just want the 0. Where does it hit the x-axis at? Well, you should have now -1, 0. 4, it hits at 2 spots. So have -3, 0, 3, 0. And then 5, there's no zeros. There's nothing to put down there. Now the directions for 6 says find the axis of symmetry. And I'm going to keep telling you that you have to put it in an equation. It has to say x equals. All right, what do you got for 6? Christian?
X equals -1.5.
Negative what?
1.5.
X equals 1.5. All right, so for 7, what do you got for that one, London?
I got negative.
Negative. Sorry.
For 7, I
Yep.
got x equals 2.
So x equals 2. And Christiana, what do you got for 8? X equals -4. All right, so let's take a look here.
Oh,
Now, I drew that in there, -1.5. That's the same as -3/2. That's correct?
Yeah.
X equals 2. Okay, and then x equals -4. You're just finding that line right down the middle. Now, 9, 10, 11, and 12 get a little bit dicey because they don't give you the graph. Preston, what do you got for 9?
X squared plus 4x minus 7.
What do you got for 9?
Oh.
What?
It's -2.
Is this your answer?
Yeah.
All right. Jay Lee, I'll check it in a minute. Jay Lee, we got for 10. All
X
right, let's see here.
What'd you get?
We got +3. -2 is correct. +3 for 10.
Oh, I got -2.
Evan, is that a hand up?
For the next one.
All right, hold on, let me go through 10. Hey, for number 10, Morgan,
Oh, no.
how do we find it?
I did y equals, oh wait, I did x equals -18 over 2. But I got it.
But you got the, well, you need to remember how to do it
I just
now.
forget what I did.
You remember the formula? Trey.
Alright, so I did, so negative and then in parentheses, -18 over 2, and then in parentheses 3.
Yeah, because remember, x equals -b over 2a. A is the number in front of the x squared. B is the number in front of the x. That number minus negative is going to make it a positive 18. And then this is going to be a positive 6. So you should get a positive 3. Okay, for that answer. So just watch your sign. You probably just had -18 on the top. That's the thing I can think of. Evan, what'd you get for 11?
X equals -3/4.
X equals -3/4. So I'll agree with that. And then Grant, how about 12?
X equals 1/6.
1/6. Good. So watch those. Now, some of you may put them in decimals. It's okay to leave it as a fraction. -3/4. So it comes up something goofy, positive 1/6. All right. What I want to do, what we're going to do today shouldn't take that long. I want to give you time to possibly get done with the homework. Guided notes are what we were working on yesterday. Okay, so what we were working on yesterday, pull that out. Tommy, you got this. Good. Was there anybody else missing other than Zach Jones yesterday?
I just want to know.
Okay. All right, now, we're on that third page there, and see where it says example 4. It says find the vertex. You have this equation, correct? It says y equals 0.25x squared plus 2x plus 3. You got that? Okay, now that equation goes with this graph. So looking at this, what's our vertex? Okay, Connor, do you even remember what the vertex is? Like, can you look at that and do you know where it's at?
0.
0. All right, vertex is a point. Christina.
-4.
It has a -4 in it.
Oh, so, -4,
4, 0 would be 1, 2, 3, right there. So I think you're on the right spot, but we want this. That's the vertex. I just want to see whether you know where it's at. Vertex is where it changes direction. Joe?
Never mind.
Jordan?
-4, -1.
All right, your vertex is -4, -1. So the first thing is I got to say, all right, do you even know what to look for? So just go ahead and write down -4, -1 for your vertex for that one right there. Okay, so that is A, that first one. So when you look at it, the vertex is where it changes direction. It's the lowest or the highest point. These other points here are the zeros. If they ask you for the zeros, that's what you put down, but the vertex is different. All right, now for part B. What is the vertex of that? Now, what's the problem? You don't have the picture. If you got the picture, if you got the graph, life's really easy. Okay, but we don't have the picture. All right, now we got some pretty smart cookies in here. There's a way to figure it out. Just think about it. How can we find the vertex? Okay, 1 second, Jordan, I want to do something first. What's your question?
We got the factor to find it out?
You do not have to factor it, not yet. Well, not for the vertex. All right, what's that dotted line? Dotted line is what? Not the vertex is on it.
Line of symmetry.
Line of symmetry. Okay, it's line of symmetry. All right, so I want you to think about it. If you don't have the picture, if you don't have the graph, how can we find the vertex? Okay, if you don't have it.
Do you do the thing where it's like negative times b over 2 times a?
Well, what does that give us?
1?
Well, not what number does it give us, what, why would you do that? I mean,
Gives us the vertex?
gives us, well, not the whole thing. Not the whole thing. But you're on the right track. You're on the right track and you're not incorrect. I want to hear what Hanan has to say.
Doesn't it just find like the number in the middle?
It finds the axis of symmetry. It finds the axis of symmetry, which is this X value. Okay, for that. Joe?
You have to find the points next to the line of symmetry.
Nope, we don't. So we want to do what both Hanan and Colin said. We want to find the axis of symmetry, which is X equals negative B over 2A. So let's do that. Now he says it's 1. Just double check it. You can do that right there for part B, underneath that equation. Now it is going to be minus, plug in 6 for B, 2 times negative 3, negative 6 over negative 6. So Colin's right, it is X equals 1.
I told you.
That's what I said.
Now, if you stop, though, you're not correct. That's not the vertex. That's just X equals 1. That would be the line that cuts it in half. The vertex is an ordered pair. So that would be the X coordinate. How would you find the Y coordinate? Okay, because we just said, let me go up here. The vertex for this one is that point, negative 4, negative 1. Hold on.
X into the.
You take your X exactly and plug it into the equation. Figure out what Y is. So let's do that. Watch your negative. So take the X out, put in 1 wherever there's an X. All right, figure out what that is. You can use your calculator. You're allowed. Connor? Is it 2? I don't know. I hope. It's negative 3 plus 6. I did not get 2.
I got negative 4.
Did you use your calculator?
That's negative 4. It's negative 4. Negative.
How can we get negative 4 when you got 3 and 6?
Negative 4? Yeah.
Negative 3 plus 6 is 3.
Yeah.
Minus 7. I'll get 4.
How'd you get?
I got
Go see
negative.
what he did.
Why'd you write down
Connor. He got 2.
Why is it not 3?
I can't figure out.
Yeah. 3?
What, Josh?
Why is it not 3? Eric?
How'd you get 3?
Negative 3 plus 6.
Well, then you gotta subtract 7.
That's squares.
3.
Yeah, you gotta do the whole thing.
Oh,
So did you get 4?
negative 4.
Negative.
Oh, why'd I put negative 7? It's negative 4. Sorry. You're right.
Yeah, that was.
All right, sorry. That's it. All right, now, some of you might have been looking up above, which is absolutely fine. I wanted to do this first, but right up above there, it gives you the steps. which I wanted to see if we could figure them out without just telling you them. Jordan?
Could we just solve this and graph it and find the axis?
That's probably gonna be harder,
That's too.
like to graph it in terms of that, but if you have that, then you can figure out some of this. And we'll eventually get there, but this is just given the equation, just finding the vertex. I think that would be harder. I'm trying to make it a little bit easier. All right, but here's what you got. To find the vertex for a quadratic function, find the axis of symmetry. All right, so that's step 1. Now it says by using the zeros or the formula, if you don't have the equation, you're just going to use x equals negative b over 2x. Use that. Plug the axis of symmetry into the equation to find y, which is what we did. We plugged 1 into the equation. And then we're going to write the vertex as an ordered pair. It's always got to be like 2 comma 5 or negative 3 comma 8. It cannot be just a single number. It has to be an ordered pair. So now let's use that for C. It says find the vertex for x squared minus 4x minus 10. You got to find the axis of symmetry. So we go x equals negative b over 2a. And that's going to be, now a is 1. A is the number in front of x squared, which is a 1. B is negative 4. So never plug in like an x for this. And so I get minus negative 4 over 2 times 1. Now watch your sign, because if you get this sign wrong, then the other part's going to be wrong. So I got positive 2. I double checked me, is that correct? Okay, so it's positive 2. Now take positive 2 and plug it in for every x, and then simplify that. So now you can use your calculator, but this shouldn't be too bad. It's 4 minus 8 minus 10, and I got negative 14. So your vertex, now write this out specifically. Vertex will be 2 comma negative 14. All right, see what you get for D. Try D, find your axis of symmetry, find x equals, figure out what y is. Zane, what did you get for x?
For x, I got 2.
So you got 2, so it's going to be minus negative 8 over 2 times 2, which is positive 8 over 4, which is 2. All right, I agree with that.
All right.
Zane, did you figure out what y is?
Yes.
What'd you get for y?
Negative 5.
Negative 5, he says. Be careful here. Now, if you type into your calculator, you should be fine. But if you're just thinking through this, you do not multiply 2 times 2 and then square it. You always do exponents first. So 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 16 plus 3. That gives me negative 8 plus 3. What'd you say?
I got negative 5.
Negative 5. That's correct. So your vertex is 2, negative 5. I want you to think about this equation, about this graph. Tell me everything you think about, everything we know about this graph. Does it open up or open down? And how do we know?
It goes,
Okay. Josh,
it goes up,
how do you know?
because it has a negative 5 on the x-axis.
That doesn't tell us why it opens up. Okay, you just got a lucky guess. Okay, Colin?
Isn't it down because it's negative 8x?
No, it is not down.
He had a lucky
We-
guess
we-
because he was correct.
We are bad. Out. Okay, right here, this,
First number policy.
that and only that tells you whether it opens up or down.
It opens up.
Okay, if it's positive, it goes up. If it's negative, it goes down. All right, now, and you don't need to write this down, but I know the vertex is 2, -5. Is that the highest point or the lowest point for this graph? The lowest. So now, and I know it opens up. Now, I don't know all the particulars, but I know it at least looks like this. Does it have to hit the x-axis? Does this graph?
No.
Yeah.
It has to because
God.
It hits the
X-axis.
You said does it hit the x-axis? You said no. It doesn't.
No,
like,
he didn't ask that question, I swear.
He literally did.
Bro, he didn't ask that.
You have everyone here.
So you can tell a lot from this information just by looking at the equation. We found the vertex. We don't know every little detail, but we know a good bit. All right, let's take a look at that last one there at the bottom.
Oh my.
Now, since this says negative x squared, it's going to open down. Okay, it's going to open. It's going to be upside down. All right, the graph of this equation can be used to model the height in meters of an arch support for a bridge, where the x-axis represents the water level and y represents the distance in meters from where the arch support enters the water. Okay, now.
It literally says, in a sailboat that has a 14-meter time.
So this is what's going on. There's your bridge. Maybe move it over a little bit. Okay. We're trying to sail under that bridge. This is 14 meters tall. It says, will it fit under there? This is your vertex. If your vertex's y value is bigger than 14 feet, yes, it'll fit under there. If it is less than 14 feet, then it's going to hit. So basically, we have to find the vertex. Long story short, if you read through that, find the vertex. So take that equation. These aren't nice numbers like you're used to. That's okay. Follow our rules. So you've got to find the axis of symmetry. You've got to find x equals negative b over 2a. Do that now. And then just wait. And if it comes back as a decimal, I'm not sure, I can't remember what it is. That's okay. Amanda, what'd you get for that?
I'm at 5.
You got 5?
Yeah.
Positive 5? Did anybody else get positive 5?
How do you guys work with
I got a -5.
You got a negative 5?
Why are you?
Well, B should be positive, right? So that should be negative B. And then A, that's a negative number. So I got a negative on top and a negative on bottom.
I knew it was multiple. I don't understand. Like before it was going to.
Okay. What'd you get, Colin? Well, let's see. Negative 0.6 divided by, now here's the problem. Let's see here. You gotta put that 2 times negative 0.6 in parentheses if you just type it in all at once. Okay.
Just put the, like, granny, just put the, like, after, multiply the number, like, 0.12.
Hold on. So I got negative 0.6 divided by negative 0.12. That is gonna be 5. Make sure you get 5. So put that, when you're multiplying those two, you can't just type it all in at once. You gotta do, put those in parentheses. So I get 5 for that answer. And so now the y value, which is f of 5, is going to be negative 0.06, 5 squared, plus 0.6 times 5, plus 10.26.
This one was kind of easy.
11.76.
How'd you get 11?
Oh,
I got 12 on that 5.
Oh my goodness.
I got 13.23.
Yo,
this is down bad. You know, this is down bad.
Sam, what'd you get?
Well, that's what she squared.
I didn't do it.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
I mean, we're getting like 10 different answers, which scares me.
I'll
Jalen, what'd you get?
do it again.
38.76.
She had 38.76.
That's not even
Well,
remotely.
that's not even generally close to what we're talking about.
I got
14.76?
I got 11.76.
What'd you get?
I got.
What'd you get?
13.3.
I got 11.76.
This is
Okay.
bad.
All right, yeah, this is really bad.
This is down bad.
I think it's the 14 is right. Now, don't forget it has a negative in front. Negative 0.06. Parentheses 5 squared. No, positive 5.
Plus 10.6. Not 10.6, 10.26.
Plus 10.26. All right, well, we got 11 there.
Yeah.
Did you put a negative in front?
Yeah.
You also say with the sailboat, you write it out.
I go, it's a boat, I bet.
Will the sailboat go under the bridge?
Yes.
No. You say yes.
Why don't we talk about the sailboat like?
Wait, why do we have to?
Okay, it will not go under the bridge because it's 14 meters tall.
It will.
It'll hit.
No sailboat.
Okay.
That's all you got. What was the
Joe, our team is smaller than life.
All right, listen up. Get done with 13 through 16.
Are they the problem?